In the past year, I have released just 4 videos publicly, 3 of which were directed directly at MSI, the company which made my current laptop. Why? Because I'm a bit annoyed with them. At the end of 2015, I decided it was time for an upgrade. Time for me to move on to bigger and better things. So I began looking for something to replace my aging HP G6 2210 SA that had served me so well up till now. I wanted to play newer games and the Intel HD 4000 was especially limiting. After researching for a few months, I settled on the MSI G62 6QC Apache. It wasn't top of the lines by any means, it just had the specifications I wanted at a price I was willing to pay, with few compromises. Other laptops that I had seen, like the many Asus ROG offerings and the Dell Inspiron 15, had numerous issues that I wasn't willing to deal with, though I would have liked the 4GB 960M. After Christmas, I made the dive and purchased myself the G62. A few days later, in early 2017, I had it, and it was glorious! It turns out the drivers that MSI provide are not actually that good, but the drivers from the chip makers are a lot better, other than this audio crackling issue, but that's a problem for another time. Games like Battlefield 3 and PlanetSide 2, without running them with Nintendo 64 graphics, I could finally bear witness to 1080p 60 with high and ultra settings. The G62 could handle most games. It did all this with minimal thermal throttling. The temperatures would tend to reach the high 80s, but it would almost always be below the 90-degree threshold where the system would start thermal throttling, with the exception of games like PlanetSide 2 and Battlefield 3, which would tax the system a little bit too much. Both fans would run at a maximum of 4,800 RPM, and if I wanted a bit more, I could use the cooler boost button to boost my fans up to 7,200 RPM. That's a 50% increase, and it would be enough to lower the temperatures down to the low 70s. The only downside is cooler boost is loud. Around 6 months later, things took a turn for the worse. An update to the embedded controller firmware, I believe version 0.108, released sometime in early June 2016, and it limited the speeds of my second fan, fan 2, by around 500 to 1000 RPM. While this doesn't seem like much, it is enough to tip the balance such that thermal throttling does occur more regularly. However, instead of doing anything about it, I leave it. And it gets worse. December 18th, 2016. As soon as my university semester ends, I created a ticket with MSI support in order to get to the bottom of this issue. At first they try and play it off as a non-issue, though with some more effort they end up telling me to RMA it. After the RMA was completed, I got my laptop back, but the issue was unresolved. They changed my motherboard to a GP62 6QF1, and they also replaced the EC module. They loaded it with a 0.118 BIOS and a 0.106 EC. I tried to raise my concern with both the repair centre and MSI support, but I was quickly ignored, and by this time my next semester was starting, so I really couldn't afford to press the matter any further. That is until I finished the semester. This marked out the start of the second round, some 6 months after the first. Again, I contacted MSI support and laid it all out to them. Again, I was met with comments of this being normal and that it is not possible to downgrade the EC firmware. After some more discussion, I'm told to RMA. Once more, it has not been fixed, and it has in fact worsened. Now both fans are limited to 6,000 RPM using cooler boost, and temperatures are higher than ever. I contact both the repair centre and MSI via both their online support and via email. This time, I do not take its normal as an answer and instead press for more information. Finally, they provide me with something that the specification states that 6,000 RPM is the maximum. Unfortunately, they still refuse to answer any of my other questions and instead choose to copy and paste a slightly altered version of the previous statement. And then there was hope. The email I sent off to MSI's email support got an answer. A really helpful guy named Michael got back to me and he was willing to help. At first, we re-explored the options of Flash and older software. BIOS version 0.118 and EC firmware 0.106. While this did increase the speed of Fan 2, it only did so by 200 RPM on the cooler boost side of the story. Now we had a 4800-4200 RPM and a 6000-6200 RPM split, which is odd. After the first RMA, my laptop not only had the same motherboard, the GP62 6QF, but it also had the same BIOS and EC firmware combination, and yet Fan 1 is 600 RPM slower and fan 2 is 200 RPM faster than it was previously. This further accentuates a lot of the questions I had for MSI support previously. Why did the 0.108 EC firmware reduce the fan speeds of just fan 2 and do so only partially? Why did 0.110 again make minor reductions? Why was there no mention of these changes in the changelog for these EC updates? Why did reverse into EC 0.106 after the first RMA and then again after the second RMA not restore my fan speeds to pre-update levels? How did the second RMA further reduce the fan speeds if no new BIOS or EC was applied? Why has every support agent and even the repair center told me something different as to what is and is not normal regarding the fan speeds? Why did one support agent tell me that it is not possible to downgrade the EC firmware, but then another told me that I can? Why is it the deliver back report for the first RMA states that the laptop was working to manufacturer specifications when the fans were actually operating at above 6,000 RPM using cooler boost, when the actual specification, as claimed by MSI, states the limit is in fact 6,000? 1 year. That's how long this has been a problem for me. I contacted MSI support. I laid everything out to them and they said that it was normal. I kept pressuring them, continuously being told it is normal and I should just update the EC and BIOS and etc, etc, etc. We do an RMA and supposedly everything's working to MSI specification, but was it ever really? I get the laptop back. Of course, I can't do an RMA again because I need it for the next semester at university. I finish that semester and I decide, let's do this, let's just get this resolved. We try again, and I met with similar friction from MSI support saying that it is normal. When it finally gets to the repair center, they start saying the same thing. They start saying it is normal. When I get it back, it's anything but normal. When I contact support again, of course, this is the first time in a full year, the first time since I've had this notebook that anyone has said to me what the specification is. They've actually said in numbers, they've said 6,000 RPM. It took them a year to get to that point. After some more pressure to say, well, look, I've got video proof that my fans were running higher. You still haven't told me anything. You haven't answered any of my questions. Other than the first question, which is a huge problem. It's almost like they're reading from a script or they're a computer who's got stuck in a loop. Thankfully, Michael, through the email support side of things, has been more helpful, and we have flashed an older BIOS, which has not really done that much other than really just confuse the situation. I'm making this video not because I want like free crap from MSI, because frankly I don't. All I want is a solution. All I want are answers to the questions I've put out to them, because currently what they're doing is really shady. It's my property at this point in time, and they've changed the way it's working, but they haven't told me why, and I can't undo the changes they have made. I don't know. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't go out and buy MSI products, because they are, at the end of the day, really good. They have their problems like anything else. And I'm probably just a single person with this exact issue, so take it with a grain of salt. It's really unfortunate that this is what my YouTube channel has become. I really do want to make more gaming videos, more just content, maybe even do a let's play, but with this issue in combination with university, it's been very busy. But thank you for watching once again, and I hope you have a lovely day.